Hey guys, welcome to another video tutorial of Edufy India. So if you guys haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, then please go to the subscription button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we have free PDF notes, videos, doubt sessions, quizzes. For that you can follow us on these social platforms, and the link for this is given in description of this video. And we have uploaded other PDF notes in the description of this video, which are related to other than the topic which is covered during the video. In previous video lecture we have seen transportation in human beings. So now in this video lecture we are going to see transportation in plants. So let us see. So we have discussed earlier how plants take in simple compounds such as carbon dioxide, and after that they photosynthesize energy which is come from sunlight, which is stored in their chlorophyll containing organs, namely leaves. But there are other kinds of raw materials needed for building plant bodies, and those are taken up separately. So for that, soil is the nearest and richest source of raw materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, and other minerals for the plant. The absorption of these substances therefore occurs through the part in contact with the soil, and those are called as roots. If the distances between soil contacting organs and chlorophyll containing organs, that is leaves, are small, so energy and raw materials can easily diffuse to all parts of the body. So here you can see the small plant, and for that the transportation of minerals and food to them is done by diffusion only, because the distances between them are small. But if there is a tall plant, the diffusion processes will not be sufficient to provide raw material in leaves and energy in roots. So for that, a proper system of transportation is therefore essential in such situations. So in this you can see minerals and water are transported by xylem tissue, and food is transported by phloem. So in this situation, the minerals and water absorbed by roots are transported to other parts of the plant by using xylem, and the food which is stored in leaves are transported by phloem to other parts of the plant. So now you know that energy needs differ between different body designs, and plants do not move, and plant bodies have a large proportion of dead cells in many tissues, and so that plants have low energy needs as compared to human beings, and so that plants can use relatively slow transport systems, and the distances over which transport systems have to operate can be very large in plants such as very tall trees. So here you can see plant transport systems will move energy stores from leaves and raw materials from roots, and these two pathways are constructed independently. That is, these two pathways are not dependent on each other, and for that there are conducting tubes, and those are xylem and phloem. So xylem moves water and minerals obtained from the soil, and phloem transports products of photosynthesis from the leaves where they are synthesized. Okay, so this is the process of transportation in plants. Now we will see transport of water and other minerals to different parts of the body from the roots. So there are two pathways by which this occurs. So first one is water pressure in the xylem, and second one is transpiration. So water pressure in the xylem is nothing but osmotic pressure which occurred due to difference in concentrations of ions between two cells. And second one is transpiration. Transpiration is nothing but evaporation of water molecules from the leaves to the atmosphere, and it occurs during the day, and water pressure in the xylem is more important during the night. So first of all we will see water pressure in the xylem. Okay, so first of all, at the roots, there are cells in contact with the soil, and those actively take up ions from the soil into them. And this creates a difference in the concentration of these ions between the root and the soil, and which is called as osmotic difference, which is then turned into osmotic pressure. And so that water moves into the root from the soil to eliminate this osmotic difference. And this means that there is a steady movement of water into root xylem, creating a column of water that is steadily pushed upwards. So in this diagram you can see a column of water from roots to the cells inside the root, and then upward to the stem through the xylem vessel. So this pressure by itself is unlikely to be enough to move water over the heights that we commonly see in plants. Plants use another strategy to move water in the xylem upwards to the highest points of the plant body, and which is transpiration, and which is we are going to see. So here you can see in xylem tissue there are vessels and tracheids of the different organs of the plants like roots, stems and leaves, and those are interconnected to form a continuous system of water conducting tubes or channels, and which reach to all parts of the plant, and which is therefore helpful for the transport of water and minerals from the roots to different organs of the plant. So now we are going to see how transpiration works. So you all know that transpiration is the evaporation of water molecules from the leaves to the atmosphere. So, so we have seen that water is absorbed by the roots from the soil into them, and after that it gets transported by using xylem vessels to different organs of the plant. So after it gets into the leaves, the water which is then lost through the stomata by using evaporation, and this water which is lost by evaporation by transpiration is replaced by water from the xylem vessels in the leaf. So evaporation of water molecules from the cells of a leaf creates a pressure or a suction which pulls water from the xylem cells of the roots. So the loss of water in the form of vapor from the aerial parts of the plant like stems, leaves is known as transpiration, as we have seen. So thus transpiration helps in the absorption and upward movement of water and minerals dissolved in it from roots to the leaves. And there is other usefulness of transpiration, that is temperature regulation. So if there is a increase in temperature, then because of the evaporation there will be the decrease in temperature. So like that there is a temperature regulation. So the effect of root pressure in transport of water is more important at night, like we have seen earlier, that which is in xylem. The water pressure during the water pressure in the cells in xylem, that is osmotic pressure, which is effective, which is more important at night. And during the day when the stomata are open, the transpiration pull becomes the major driving force in the movement of water in the xylem. So transpiration is more important during the day. So this is the transpiration which is helpful in the transport of water from the roots to other parts of the plant. So here you can see some cross sections of xylem tissue, like how xylem tissue looks like under microscope. Now we will see how food and other substances get transported from leaves to other organs of the body. So basically what is come under in food and other substances? So food is basically products of metabolic processes, particularly photosynthesis, and Other substances include amino acids and other building blocking materials which are required for plant. So, this transport of food and other substances occurred by using phloem tissue. As we have seen xylem tissue, there is a phloem tissue for the transport of food and other substances. The transport of food and other substances is called as translocation. So this process is called as translocation. This process requires energy in the form of ATP molecules, that is adenosine triphosphate. As we have seen, there was only a simple physical force which is in the form of osmotic pressure, and there was a suction or pressure during the transpiration, and there was no requirement of energy during transportation of water and minerals. But here there is a requirement of energy for the transportation of food and other substances. And here there is a upward as well as downward flow of food and other substances. As we have seen during transportation of water and minerals, there was only upward flow from roots to upward, like upward parts of the plant. But here there is a flow in both the directions, that is upward as well as downward. So now we will see how transportation of food and other substances occurred in phloem tissue. So basically this takes place in the sieve tubes with the help of adjacent companion cells in both the directions, that is upward as well as downward directions. So as we have seen, there is a requirement of energy which is in the form of ATP. So translocation in phloem is achieved by utilizing energy which is in the form of ATP. So here you can see there is a conversion of ATP into ADP, and it releases energy for that. So material like sucrose is transferred into phloem tissue using energy from ATP, and this increases the osmotic pressure of the tissue, causing water to move into the phloem tissue. And this pressure moves the material in the phloem to tissues which have less pressure. So the water from the xylem tissue gets into phloem tissue when there is a difference between the osmotic pressure between them, and this difference between the pressure occurs due to energy, that is ATP molecules, and this allows the phloem to move material according to the plant needs. So first of all, this food from the leaves get transported to the storage organs of roots, then fruits and seeds. So whenever the plant needs this energy, it gets transported from these storage organs of roots, then seeds, fruits, to the other parts of the body whenever they need the energy. For example, in the spring, sugar stored in root or stem tissue would be transported to the buds which need energy to grow. So first of all, the food which is formed into the leaves during the photosynthesis is transported to the storage organs of roots, stems, then fruits and seeds. And after that, by using phloem tissue, by using this mechanism, this food is transported from these storage organs to the other organs of the plant whenever they need it. Okay, so this is the mechanism of phloem tissue for the transportation of food and other substances to different organs of the plant, and it requires energy in the form of ATP, and also there is a requirement of osmotic pressure. And these are the images of some cross section of phloem, and these are some microscopic views of phloem, so you can see over here. If you like this video lecture, then please hit the subscription button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and stay tuned for another video lecture on the same chapter. And please don't forget to like, comments, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching this video lecture, and stay tuned for next video lecture of the Edify India.